the nugget I was looking for. It's the Super Bowl presented by Kay Jewelers. We are live in Miami. It is Friday. It is the second hour of our show. My voice is kind of leaving. We're in the right spot.
Leave it out here, Kay.
Let's go.
Leave it on the field.
Last show of the season.
My name's Kay. Kyle Brandt is here. Nate Burleson and Peter Schrager. Thank you for choosing us this morning. And Nate, take you through this list.
Listen, we got Aaron Jones coming. Kirk Cousins, one of our favorite guys in the entire league. I guess the strongest dude in the league. Have you ever seen DK Metcalf with his shirt off? We're going to try to get him to strip. I know that sounds weird, but we're going to do a little something when he comes.
Okay.
Melvin Gordon's going to join us. Ron Rivera, Riverboat, has been awesome every single Super Bowl he joins us. And then Rob Riggle is going to join us at the end. Make us laugh a little bit, talk
I love that.
Casey football.
So yesterday the show ended. We hung out, took some pictures. Peter and I responsibly went back to the hotel.
Yeah.
And then a little bit later, I saw pictures of you two in the ocean. Is that happening in the show today?
Yeah, Nate and me in hot pants and tank tops doing a little Rocky and Apollo homage. It's pretty cool.
Love that. We've got more here, superstars at GMFB. Pretty cool. Time for the lead block.
Lead block.
Let's check in on both squads, the Chiefs and the Niners. Omar Ruiz with the 49ers, Tom Pelissero with the Chiefs this morning. Omar, let's start with you and talk about how the Niners got to this point. A few of their star players had to overcome critical injuries last season, and it's scary to think that they might be healthier than they've been all year right now, headed into this matchup. What can you tell us about their journey to this Super Bowl?
Well, Kay, we know a couple years ago Richard Sherman had that torn Achilles, and that's something that he and Emmanuel Sanders bonded over even before Sanders was a 49er. Of course, 13 months ago, Emmanuel Sanders tore his ACL. He reflected back with me on getting back to this point, his third Super Bowl, crawling up the stairs with the torn Achilles, having the tightrope surgery. It was all worth it. And then there's Jimmy Garoppolo, of course, tore his ACL against the Chiefs, ending his 2018 season. I remember speaking to him day 2 of OTAs, and all the focus was on that knee. I asked him yesterday to reflect back, given all the work he did in the offseason, how the 2019 season unfolded for him.
Yeah, it's just crazy. I mean, just going through the entire process. I mean, about a year ago, I was learning how to run again. And so it's just, I don't know, when you look back on everything, and it really makes you realize, how special this moment is. So it's one of those things you can't really take it for granted. It's, I mean, you don't know if you're ever going to be back here. So got to make it count while you can.
As for that knee, Garoppolo also told me he hasn't thought about it since about halfway through the season. And, of course, the 49ers are using that Be Legendary hashtag. Perhaps the player that started that legendary movement, Quan Alexander, coming off his own torn ACL. They're all hoping to complete their comeback stories by hoisting the Lombardi Trophy on Sunday night. For more now on the Chiefs, let's send it up to Tom Pelissero.
Omar, I asked Chiefs linebacker Anthony Hitchens, how do you get George Kittle, the 49ers tight end, on the ground? Hitchens said you got to hit him in the target spot, the upper thighs. You hit him too high, he's going to shake you off. You hit him too low, he'll either stiff arm you or he'll hurdle you. We call it kill the engine, Hitchens said. Most people can't run without their legs. Now, if that sounds a little bit familiar, it's because Hitchens said something almost identical 2 weeks ago about Titans running back Derrick Henry. And the Chiefs did a pretty good job of tackling Henry in the AFC Championship game. That was not the only comparison to Derrick Henry I heard from the Chiefs this week either. Defensive tackle Colin Saunders told me they had to double back when they watched the tape of Raheem Mostert running wild in the NFC title game because he's almost as hard to tackle as Henry, Saunders said, but a lot faster. Chiefs back on the practice field late this morning for a lighter session. Then they'll head into Hard Rock Stadium for a mock game and team photo tomorrow, okay?
Appreciate the update from Tom and Omar. We're almost there. It's at the end of the week, of course. NFL honors tomorrow, and then we will find out who will be the Super Bowl champion of Super Bowl 54. Back here on set in South Beach, we have been, I'm not going to say like pinning these two tight ends against each other, but they certainly are comparisons to draw, and it's a storyline that we're looking at. So when the clock hits 0 on Sunday night, which tight end do you predict will have the bigger impact overall on Super Bowl 54, Kittle or Kelce?
It's tough. I've said I think this is my favorite tight end matchup in Super Bowl history. If you want to say Ertz, Gronk, Mackey, Ditka, if you go way back there, this is my matchup. And, I got to call BS on something a little bit. Kelce and Kittle have been extremely complimentary to each other, extremely respectful, which I get. But there's sort of a tradition that we might be able to relate to in Super Bowl week where you come down here and you see people in the industry who do the same job as you, and you do respect them, but you want to dominate them. Let's be honest. If you run into another host, another another show in the lobby. Nice to see you and everything. I hope your show tanks. I really do. I think Kittle and Kelce feel the same exact way. Peter, you all people, Alpha Dog, are incredulous.
I'm shocked you would go that route because you're
That's the
absolutely
route
right.
I'm going. So I'll get there. I think they are both out for blood. And I think the winner in this one is going to be Kittle. I'll tell you why. I am hoping and predicting that we're going to see some Richard Sherman coverage on Kelce.
Okay.
That's the type of thing that can make a difference. I remember Tony Gonzalez was so good back in the day that in the AFC West, Champ Bailey sometimes would come off the receiver and say, I got him. And I think Robert Saleh is going to look at how good Kelce is and say, Rich, we need you. We need you on third downs. We need you on second and long. And I think it'll work, which is why I'm going with Kittle, who wants to dominate one of his peers in the own industry, just like all of us.
Yeah, listen, this is a heavyweight bout. This is the best of the best at their position. You know, you said that you hope to see Richard Sherman guard Kelce. I don't see that happening. We know that Richard Sherman, he likes to stay on one side of the field, and they're going to move Kelce around. That's what they do best when it comes to the offense for the Chiefs. Pat Mahomes is going to be able to deliver balls to different guys because they'll be in different places for 4 different quarters. Now, on the flip side, I feel like Tyrann Mathieu is going to be all over Kittle.
Interesting.
He is one of those individuals that can guard the wide receiver. He can guard the running back out of the backfield, and he will be on top of Kittle. Now, even though Kittle can block well, let's not assume that Travis Kelce isn't going to be blocking either.
Talk about it.
This argument is that, well, you know, Kelce is a good receiver and he puts up a lot of yards. I'll give them the nod on being a receiver, but when it comes to blocking, this is Kittle's. What?
We've had this argument. The opposite's true for Kittle, though. Just because Kittle doesn't have 200-yard games, which he, by the way, has had, breaking a single-season record last year, because he doesn't put up those huge receiving yards, people don't think he's as good of a receiver
No.
as Kelce.
I don't know who says that. I know that Kittle is a great receiver. I know that Kelce is a great receiver. I just feel like Kelce's been doing it longer, so you give him the nod. When it comes to blocking, I want you to think back. Over the couple of seasons that Pat Mahomes has been quarterback, have you ever seen him drop back, take a sack, and we see Kelce standing there apologizing? No, because he's a great blocker as well. He's just not called to. So to answer your question in a very long-winded way, it will be Kelce because he's going to have some great blocks, and he's going to have a couple of touchdowns in this game. Let's not forget, Dude put up 3 touchdowns in a playoff game like it was nothing.
I had the pleasure, really. I was with Gronkowski 2 nights ago, Rob Gronkowski, and I just straight up said, Kittle or Kelce? And Gronk laughs, says, they're both very good. And he says, there's something about Kittle's game I love. He wants to crush your soul. Like, Kittle is a blocker, first and foremost. That's what he was in college. And then he got to the pros, and all of a sudden, he can catch the ball also. There's something about Kittle that sets the tone that permeates throughout that San Francisco locker room.
Right.
And yet, there may be no better connection. This includes all the receivers and all the quarterbacks than Mahomes and Kelce. They speak the same language. It is like Stockton to Malone. It is like
Gary Payton to Sean Kemp.
Gary Payton to Sean Kemp. It seems like whenever Mahomes is in trouble, and you'll see, he moves out of the pocket. Kelce has the footwork and the ability to connect with Mahomes mid-play and say, I'm going to go. They never misfire on where they're going. They're always in the same spot. I think Kelce has a huge game. I think Mahomes relies on him heavily. And I think Travis Kelce is going to be the bigger name on Sunday.
So are you going to Gronk Beach or?
Gronk Beach. I was invited to Gronk Beach.
What's Gronk Beach?
Gronk Beach is Diplo and many other artists and Gronkowski for 6 hours partying on Saturday before the Super Bowl. And then he's going to work for Fox on Sunday. I said, Gronk, good luck to you, bro.
Gronk Beach?
Gronk Beach.
Where the only virgins are the Daiquiris.
Okay. Chiefs fans have been waiting a long. You see what I deal with? You see this, guys?
Kyle.
Been waiting a long time. I sat down with the First Lady of Football, Norma Hunt, ahead of Kansas City's triumphant return to the Super Bowl.